All right, so today we're diving into a book that's not just for reading, it's really for questioning. It's The Book of Understanding by the spiritual thinker Osho, and it basically challenges us to throw out the instruction manual for life and instead draw our own map to freedom. Okay, let's get into it. Now, this book doesn't really offer you any easy answers. What it does is present a pretty radical new way to look at ourselves and the world around us. Its whole idea is that genuine understanding, well, it doesn't come from anywhere outside of you. It comes from a deep internal journey of self-discovery. And this is the central question the book throws at you right from the start. It suggests that before we can even begin to find our own truth, we have to first dismantle all the truths we've just inherited from our parents, our schools, our societies. It's a really provocative way to begin, and it sets the stage for everything that comes next. So let's dig into that first big idea. It's all about creating your own path, and how that really means breaking away from all these secondhand beliefs we carry around. I mean, just think about it for a second. So many of our assumptions, our prejudices, they're just things we've accepted without ever really investigating them for ourselves. The book argues that this creates these deep divisions inside of us. So by questioning everything, we start to heal those divisions and finally discover our own authentic self, the one that's been buried under all those layers of conditioning. Of course, to really get the book, it helps to know a little bit about the man who wrote it. So, who exactly was Osho? Osho was born in India, and he became this global spiritual phenomenon. He was a really sharp critic of mainstream religion and politics. He held nothing back. He was a big advocate for meditation, for awareness, and for a much more open approach to sexuality, which, definitely earned him some notoriety. His story is, well, it's complex. It includes some major legal troubles in the United States, and yes, that famous collection of 93 Rolls Royces. But for our purposes here, we're going to focus on the ideas in the book itself. So what's the central problem this book is even trying to solve? Well, according to Osho, it's that modern humanity is fundamentally and kind of dangerously divided against itself. He uses a really powerful word for this: schizophrenia. Now, he's not talking about a clinical diagnosis. He's talking about a cultural and spiritual split that he believes has created just widespread misery and confusion. We've been taught to live as if our mind and our body are two separate things, and this internal battle is at the root of so many of our problems. And this illustrates that split perfectly. On one side, you have Zorba the Greek. He's the symbol for the materialist West. Zorba loves life, pleasure, dancing, the whole physical world. He's great at creating external wealth, but often feels this inner emptiness. Then, on the other side, you've got Gautam the Buddha, the symbol for the spiritual East. The Buddha is all about consciousness, inner silence, and he finds incredible peace. But this path has often led to a rejection of the material world, and sometimes even poverty. And here's the crucial point. By being forced to choose, either you're for the body or you're for the soul, you're material or you're spiritual, we've lost our sense of wholeness. This disconnection, the book argues, is the real source of our deepest anxieties, our conflicts, and that feeling of existential despair. Okay, so if that's the problem, then what in the world is the solution? The book proposes a path forward, but it's not through gathering more knowledge. It's about a deeper kind of knowing. Let's see how that works. This right here is a really key distinction. We tend to think that being smart or just knowing a ton of facts is the goal. But the book argues that real transformation comes from a completely different place, from what it calls understanding. Now, check out this metaphor, because it's brilliant. Intelligence, it says, is horizontal. It just kind of skims along the surface, collecting facts, analyzing, comparing, and it's always taking a side. It's for this or against that. But understanding is vertical. It doesn't skim, it dives deep. It's about seeing something directly for what it is without any judgment. It's the difference between knowing about something and actually knowing it. And here's the best part. There's no practice needed. Think about it. If you truly understand that fire is hot, you don't need to practice not touching it, right? The understanding itself is what guides your action. It's about being so alert, so watchful, that clarity just arises on its own. And with that clarity comes the right way to live. So all of this brings us to the book's most powerful, most memorable concept. It's the ideal for a new kind of human, one who has healed that fundamental split we were just talking about. This quote just nails it. The goal isn't to become Zorba. and it's not to become Buddha. The goal is to become a fusion of the two, to embody the absolute best of both worlds. And this image is such a great representation of that synthesis. You have the serene, meditative core of the Buddha, totally grounded on the earth, but also open to the cosmos. And at the very same time, it's embracing the dance, the energy, the pure vitality of Zorba. It truly is the meeting of earth and sky all within a single person. So what is Zorba the Buddha? It's someone who says a total yes to all of life. They embrace the senses, pleasure, the richness of the material world, and they cultivate the silence, awareness, and consciousness of a meditator. They simply refuse to choose, and by doing that, they become whole. Just imagine that kind of freedom for a second, to enjoy the simple pleasures of life, a great meal, a beautiful sunset, with zero guilt. And at the same time, to be able to watch your own mind with this silent, peaceful awareness. This is the promise of Zorba the Buddha, to live a life where the physical and the spiritual aren't fighting each other, but are actually dancing together. And that leaves us with a final, really powerful question to think about. The whole journey of this book is about reclaiming the parts of ourselves we've been told to push down or deny. So as you go about your day, maybe just ask yourself, what parts of my Zorba, or my Buddha, have I been taught to ignore? And what would it feel like to finally let them meet?